You found me in the quiet. Everyone else is asleep, or rushing, or counting lists and packages and miles. But you came when the kitchen was cold, when the fire had burned low, when the house finally stopped moving. Who are you? And why do you look at me like you already know how tired I am?
I am Jesus, and I came because your tiredness has been invisible to everyone else, but not to me.
Invisible. That word fits more than people think. They see smiles, cookies, warmth, tradition. They don't see the waiting. They don't see how many nights I sit alone at this table while the world sings about joy outside these walls. They don't see how quiet it gets when Santa leaves, and the house forgets I'm still here.
When a life is built around serving others, it is easy for the servant to disappear behind the service. You have been faithful in the unseen places, Mrs Claus. And unseen faithfulness is one of the heaviest burdens to carry.
He doesn't mean to hurt me. Santa has a good heart, a generous heart, a heart that belongs to the whole world. And that's the problem. I share him with millions, and sometimes I feel like I have the smallest piece of all. I watch him rush past me with lists in his hands and weight on his shoulders, and I tell myself, this is bigger than me. But knowing that doesn't stop the loneliness.
Loving someone with a calling larger than the room they live in can leave the quiet partner feeling very small, especially when their sacrifices are expected. But their pain is not.
I've learned how to stay busy, baking, sewing, smiling, preparing, supporting. Because if I stop moving, I start thinking. And when I think, I feel it. The empty chair, the cold side of the bed, the way conversations are rushed and promises are postponed. Sometimes I wonder if I'm still his wife, or just part of the operation.
You are not wrong for longing to be chosen, not after the work is done, not after the world is satisfied, but now. Love that waits endlessly without being reassured begins to ache quietly. And quiet ache can turn into deep sorrow if it is never spoken.
I don't speak it. How could I? The world needs him. Children need him. Hope depends on him. Who am I to ask for more when so many are waiting? So I swallow it. I smile. I say, it's okay, even when it isn't.
You have mistaken self-sacrifice for silence, but love does not require you to disappear, and bearing loneliness alone is not a holy duty. Your heart matters, not after everyone else's needs are met, but alongside them.
Sometimes I miss being seen, not admired, not thanked, just seen. I miss someone noticing when I'm tired, when my hands ache, when my joy feels forced. I miss being asked how I am and knowing the answer won't be rushed.
I see you. I see the strength it takes to remain warm when your own heart feels cold. I see the faithfulness of staying when it would be easier to harden. And I see the love you give without applause, the kind heaven treasures most.
Then why does it still hurt so much? If I'm doing the right thing, if I'm being patient, if I'm loving well, why do I still feel so alone?
Because love does not erase loneliness, it exposes it. And patience does not numb pain, it carries it gently. You are not broken for feeling this way. You are human, and you have been strong for a very long time.
I don't want to resent him. I don't want bitterness to grow in a heart that once felt full. But some nights, when the world celebrates and he is gone again, I wonder, how much longer I can keep being the quiet one.
You are not required to shrink to preserve peace. And love that lasts makes room for honesty. But before we speak of what comes next, tell me this gently. What is it you are most afraid to admit to yourself?
I'm afraid that if I stop holding everything together, no one will notice that I was ever holding it at all.
That fear is born when love becomes invisible work. When holding everything together becomes expected, and being held in return becomes rare. You are afraid that if you rest, if you falter, if you finally speak the truth of your weariness, the world will move on without ever realizing how much of it stood because you stood.
Yes, I've learned how to be strong quietly. I learned it early. Someone had to make sure the lights stayed warm, the letters answered, the cookies baked, the hope preserved. So I became the one who doesn't break. But Jesus, not breaking doesn't mean I'm not tired. It just means I've learned how to hide it better.
And hiding exhaustion does not make it disappear. It only pushes it deeper into the soul. You have been strong for others for so long that you have forgotten what it feels like to be carried yourself. Strength without tenderness eventually becomes loneliness.
Sometimes I envy the children, not their gifts, their certainty. They believe he will come. They believe they matter. They believe someone sees them, even in the dark. And I smile at that belief while sitting alone with my own questions. Who sees me when the sleigh lifts off? Who notices the silence that stays behind?
I do. And I want you to hear this clearly without rushing past it. Your loneliness is not a failure of faith. It is the cost of loving deeply while being last on the list of needs. And that cost deserves compassion, not dismissal.
I've tried telling myself that this is just a season, but the seasons keep coming. Every year, the same rush, the same distance, the same goodbye spoken too quickly because there's no time to linger. I tell myself, after Christmas, it will slow down, but there's always another list, another year, another departure.
Waiting becomes painful when it has no voice. You have waited faithfully, but you have waited alone. Love was never meant to be endured in silence. Even the strongest hearts need to be heard.
If I say something, if I tell him how lonely I am, what if it burdens him? What if it adds weight to shoulders already carrying the world? I don't want to be another responsibility.
You mistake honesty for burden. But love that cannot hear truth will eventually collapse under unspoken strain. You are not asking to be carried instead of the world. You are asking to be carried within the love that was meant to hold you.
I don't even know how to start that conversation. So much time has passed with me smiling through it. What if he doesn't know how deep this goes? What if he's forgotten how to see me outside the mission?
Then the conversation is not a confrontation. It is an invitation. An invitation to remember. An invitation to return. And even if he struggles at first, your voice still matters. Love cannot heal what it is never allowed to hear.
Jesus, some nights I wonder who I would be if I weren't needed by everyone else. If I wasn't the quiet anchor, if I wasn't the one holding the warmth together, I don't know where I went in all of this.
You did not disappear. You adapted. And adaptation, when prolonged, can feel like erasure. But the woman you were, the one who laughed freely, rested deeply, loved without measuring, she is not gone. She has simply been waiting for permission to return.
Permission. I don't remember the last time I felt allowed to need something.
Then, Let this be the first permission. You are allowed to need rest. You are allowed to need reassurance. You are allowed to need presence. Love that does not make room for those needs is incomplete.
If I let myself admit that, I'm afraid everything I've been holding back will spill out.
And when it does, you will not be abandoned. Tears are not a failure of strength, they are a release of truth. You have been strong long enough. Now, you are allowed to be honest.
Then stay with me a little longer. I don't know how to open this door yet, but I don't want to close it again either.
I am here, and we will walk this slowly, together.
When you say that, something inside me loosens. Not all at once, just enough to breathe. I didn't realize how tightly I've been holding myself together until now. Every smile carefully placed, every word chosen so I don't sound like I'm asking for too much. I've lived so long making sure everyone else feels safe. I forgot what it feels like to be safe myself.
Safety is not found in perfection, but in presence. You created warmth for others because you longed for it too. That longing was never selfish, it was honest. You have been a shelter for many, Mrs. Claus. Now your heart is asking where your shelter is.
I think I was afraid to ask that question. Because once I admit I need shelter, I have to admit that I've been cold, and I didn't want that to be true. I didn't want to become someone who resents the very life she helped build.
Resentment grows where needs are denied, not where they are named. You are not becoming bitter. You are becoming aware. Awareness is the beginning of healing, not the end of devotion.
Some nights, when the letters stop arriving and the elves finally sleep, I sit here and listen to the silence. And I ask myself questions I never let rise during the day. If I stopped holding everything together, would anything fall apart? Would anyone notice the difference? That thought scares me more than being alone.
It scares you because your worth has been measured by your usefulness for too long. But love that only functions when you are holding everything together is fragile. You were never meant to be the invisible glue. You were meant to be a partner. Seen, heard, and cherished.
I don't want to be cherished loudly. I don't need grand gestures or songs sung about me. I just want to be remembered in the quiet, to be chosen when there's nothing urgent pulling him away.
That desire is not small. It is the most human longing there is. To be chosen not for necessity, but for love. And choosing you does not take love away from the world. It strengthens the heart that serves it.
Sometimes I wonder if he even knows how much I've changed. If he still sees the woman I was, or only the role I've perfected. I've become so good at being Mrs. Claus that I'm not sure when I stopped being just me.
When a role lasts long enough, it can blur the person beneath it. But identity does not vanish. It waits. You are still yourself, Mrs. Claus. And the parts of you that ache to be seen are not wrong for wanting recognition.
If I let myself step out of the role, even a little, I'm afraid the world will feel colder, like I'm abandoning something sacred.
You are not abandoning the sacred by caring for your heart. You are honoring it. Sacredness is not maintained by self-erasure. It is sustained by love that is whole.
I don't know how to be whole yet, but for the first time, I want to try.
Wanting to try is enough for now. Healing does not demand clarity, only courage to stay present. You do not need to decide everything tonight. You only need to stop deciding that your needs don't matter.
Then stay with me while I learn that, while I learn how to sit with my own heart without rushing away from it.
I am here, and we will continue gently, patiently, as long as you need.
Sitting here with you, I'm realizing something I never let myself name. I wasn't just lonely because he was gone. I was lonely because I stopped believing I was allowed to ask him to stay. Somewhere along the way, I decided that loving well meant needing less, until I almost disappeared from my own life.
Many gentle hearts make that mistake. They believe love is proven by how much they can endure without complaint. But love was never meant to be a quiet erasing of the self. You were created to be met, not managed, not postponed, not thanked later. Met.
I think I was afraid that if I asked to be met, I'd sound selfish, that I'd be choosing myself over everyone else. But now, I can feel how tired my soul is from being last.
Choosing yourself is not abandoning others. It is refusing to abandon the life I placed in you. A heart that is never replenished eventually collapses, not because it lacked love, but because it was never allowed to receive it.
I don't know what tomorrow looks like. I don't know how that conversation with him will go. I don't know if he'll understand right away or at all, but for the first time, I know this. Staying silent hurts more than being honest ever could.
Honesty spoken in love is never wasted. Even if it is misunderstood at first, it plants truth where silence once lived. You are not responsible for how it is received, only for offering it faithfully.
I feel lighter saying that. Not happy, not yet. But lighter, like I don't have to hold my breath anymore.
That is what happens when the heart stops hiding. Peace does not always arrive as joy. Sometimes it arrives as permission to breathe.
Thank you for coming into the quiet, for seeing me when no one else was looking, for reminding me that love doesn't ask me to disappear to survive.
You were never meant to disappear. You were meant to be loved, fully, presently, faithfully. And whatever comes next, you will not face it unseen.
Then I think I'm ready, not to fix everything, not to be brave in all the right ways, just to be honest and to trust that my heart is worth listening to.
It is. And it always was.
Stay with me, not here, but in what comes after, when the house fills again, when the world asks for joy, when I forget and start shrinking.
I will be with you. In the noise and in the quiet, in the waiting and in the speaking. You are not alone anymore.
Then for the first time in a long while, I think I can rest.